I'm going to introduce Naomi now. She's going to make a whole lot more sense of this. Naomi's been around with me investing and helping investors in real estate for many, many years. It's been 6-7 years now, Naomi and I worked together closely when we first started our mentoring program. And Naomi and I were the only coaches that travelled around Australia and put up the finance and property together. And it's obviously grown, now. Naomi has been working in the finance industry for many, many years. She's awesome at what she does. She is very, very clever at taking... Has anyone ever heard the ads from mortgage brokers? We have 300 lenders to choose from and 5,000 products. Yeah? Is that like more confusing than exciting? It's like, which one of it fits where? There's probably about a handful, maybe 10 products. And that's all you need, right? But you need someone like Naomi, a fantastic finance broker. We've got those guys at the back. Where are all the finance brokers today? Down the back there, they've been helping out all around the room. To be able to take finance and put it into the right place and space. And Naomi will talk about how you structure that, how you do it safely.
Now, I thought we're leveraging with their money to grow our wealth. Do they deserve a little bit more respect than they're getting here? And I was so upset with that program. Then I sent a little letter and it was all very wonderful. But I thought we need to change our mindset when it comes to lending. Yes, can be very frustrating, but as consumers, we need to understand where they're at. Are they a business? Are they wanting to create wealth? Are we a business and are we wanting to create wealth? Absolutely. Obviously, with an owner-occupied property, we want to pay it down as quickly as possible, don't we? Is that property income producing? The property we live in? Is it tax deductible? No. So our main goal is to pay it down as quickly as possible. So if I could show you a way to pay it down even quicker than principal and interest, would you be interested? Okay, I'm just going to ask a question. Would you be interested? Yes. Excellent. So, is it the house of your dreams? And they go, well, no, it's not the house of my dreams. I don't really, we just bought it because that's what we could afford it. And I said, well, why don't you go out and rent the house of your dreams? And they go, oh, that's it. I don't know if that's going to work for me. And there's so many things. People have these amazing goals. A lot of them can be reached quite easily if you change some things around structurally with finance. Who here wants to build a multi-million-dollar property portfolio? Okay, awesome. Another question. Who here wants to build a multi or a property portfolio to have some choices in their life? Yeah. Okay, so I have clients, and when I was in Melbourne a little while ago, I had a client that sat in front of me, and she had $35 million in property. And she had no money. And I was looking at her and I was trying to figure out why she was in front of me in the first place. And, I met with her and I was thinking, I don't know if I can help you here because I think you've already done it. And she said, I built this property portfolio and I don't know why I built it. I just used the equity, I just kept going and now I've got this property. She said, I don't have any money. I need you to help me because I've got no cash. And I said, well, what are you doing with it? She said, my 2 sons live in some of the properties and they eat up all the equity and they buy cars and things like that. And I was like, holy God, there were pages and pages and pages of property. She started in 1970. And I just looked at it and it was such a mess. It was like a spider web. I had no idea where to even start. So I started saying, so what do you owe on this property here? She said, oh, I think I don't know. I said, right. And then what do you want on this one here? She said, I don't know. So many times when we're building these beautiful big property portfolios, it can become like a spider web. Okay, if you can, everything needs to stay standalone. Okay, all nice, neat and tidy. So if you go to sell something, this one here, will it affect this one, this one, this one? No, and if we understand that the market is going up and it's going down, and this market's it's skyrocketed and you want to get some cash out of it, okay, is that going to be easy to do, potentially? Absolutely, because who reads their terms and conditions here? How many? Ooh. About? Not many. Okay, so does everyone know what the terms and conditions are in your mortgage? Pardon? Lawyers speak. That's correct. They are about 60 pages long of nighttime reading. Okay, you will sit there and read it and be a little bit confused by the end of it. Seriously, you will be. A lot of the stuff that's in your contracts, the most important things that are in there are in your terms and conditions. Are we building a business? Property is a business and it will out-earn you in time, but it needs to be set up properly and you guys need to protect yourself first and foremost. I had a client in Adelaide. I don't know what happens in Adelaide, some crazy stuff happens in Adelaide. Must be the red wine or something there. Every time I'm there, someone comes up to me and tells me an amazing story. And he came up to me and he said, I have the story for you. And I was like, yeah, okay. Tell me the story. And he said, I had $1 million asset that I was selling, no debt on it. And I was like, we need to talk, let's go here. So let's have a wine or something. And he said, I sold the asset and I was going to retire. I was like, awesome, that's great. He said, I was going to live on that $1 million for 3 or 4 years. It would have lasted me 6 months or something. I don't know if he was going 3 or 4 years. But he said, my wife and I were going to travel, we're going to do some amazing things. And I said, oh, that's awesome, that's great. He said, so I went and saw my bank manager. And I said, I'm going to sell this asset. There's $1 million coming into the bank account. Don't freak out. Okay, so there's $1 million coming into the bank account. Just want to advise you guys, that this is coming in and, all this, make sure you put it into this account, all the rest of it. Bank manager goes, yes, fantastic. I can do that for you. He goes, great. They've been friends for a while. Okay, he goes to the Bahamas, true story. Goes to the Bahamas with his family and his children, drinks cocktails and puts on 5 kilos or whatever, comes back and checks his trust account, checks the bank account. There is $257,000 left in the account. Now, who's the first person that he rings? He doesn't ring the bank manager. Who's the first person that he may ring? Man, who would be the first person that you may ring about who's using money?
Wife.
Your wife. Okay, so he rings his wife, and his wife was sitting there just going, yes, you rang me, I wasn't using the doghouse, but she did not use the money. Okay, so who's the next person that he rings? He rings the bank manager, and the bank manager says, you know what, yes, I've used the money. And he goes, what do you mean you've used the money? Well, you put in another trust account, it's earning some great interest, where is my cash? He said, well, you've retired, you can't afford what you've currently got. And he looked at him like, what? He said, well, you've retired, you don't have an income anymore. So I've used that money to pay out some of your mortgages. And I've paid out your CBA credit card, I've paid off that depreciating asset, which is your beautiful BMW, they paid it off as well. They did some pretty funky stuff. Tell me, if you can, help me out, what are the people's greatest fears? Why don't they buy property? Debt. What else? What else?
Risk.
Losing their house. Risk. Yeah, what else? What was that? Scared of the tenants. Yep. Yeah, interest rates. Everything freaks people out. Okay, no wonder they don't buy property. Okay, so I have, Positive Real Estate would have hundreds of clients that we work with, and why are they buying over 3 or 4 properties? It's because they're protecting themselves moving forward, understanding their clauses, and setting themselves up properly. So, I am going to show you, would you like me to show you how to build a beautiful property portfolio and not live on beans and rice and the rest of your life while you're trying to do it?
Yeah.
Yes, excellent. So, people are buying property, business A. Business A is you guys, okay? Your income comes into this account, okay? It pays your personal mortgage, rates, whatever personally, living costs, okay? Business B, here, is your property portfolio. It needs to stay very separate from this here. So if we have money in this account, we had $10,000 sitting in here, it has property, rent payment is everything getting into there, okay? So we have all our rent coming in here, it's paying is that this has to pay the shortfall of what? All of this. What happens when interest rates go up? They freak out. They go, oh my gosh, we've got to fix our interest rates. Okay, why? We've got to fix our interest rates because, oh my gosh, we can't afford to have money coming out of this account because we won't be able to feed ourselves. Like, this whole property thing is crap. Most people get to that point if they don't understand how to set this up properly. This business here will out-earn you in time. But you can't grow it and you can't live this life where you're living on baked beans and rice for the next 10 years before you try to do it. Would that be much fun? I had a client that sat in front of me and said, I just thought I want I worked 3 jobs for he worked in public service from 8 to 4. He had a marketing job, something that he did online at night. Then he did a gardening job. He had a good job. And I'm going, oh, I think I might be able to do something here.
You've taught me so much.
It's a fantastic idea.
I've had a great time.
A very interesting weekend. I love it.
Definitely, anyone that's interested in property.